Hey guys, first Guardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a Heroic Heavy Bolter build for the Heavy class in Space Marine 2 Patch 12. Now, the Heroic Heavy Bolter is, in my opinion, a top 3, if not top 1 weapon on Heavy. Plasma and Multi-Melta are better for AoE damage and like Horde clear and stuff like that, but this weapon has a perk effect called Reinforced Gun Casing that says perfect parry window increases by 50%, and after a gun strike, the weapon is completely cooled. Now, this perk also gives you a fencing parry window, which is huge on this weapon. Being able to have a fencing parry window on Heavy is just such a boon to his class playstyle and will save your life in a lot of scenarios. And if you want to say it's like the best weapon on the entire Heavy class, I really could not blame you, because it does a lot of damage and that parry window really will save your life, on top of having a 50% increase on that on top of it. So for the perk tree on this, I do go down the top tree mostly. Number 1, we take Fast Venting to the perk here, Perfect Cooling. After a perfect time dodge, the equipped weapon is completely cooled. This perk is okay. It is actually a bit better on this build, even though we do get completely cooled off of gun strikes. The main problem with this gun is that if you do overheat your weapon, it will take like 5 business days to cool down. That's like the only downside of it, but because of that, you have these perk effects that give you a complete cooling on like a gun strike, so not too detrimental. Next perk here is Increased Capacity, up here into the perk Heavy Immunity. This one gives you no knockback while you're in a heavy stance. This is a mandatory perk in my opinion. Not having this absolutely sucks ass. Just take this. The only time you don't take this perk to like not get knocked around and insta-killed is when you have the perk down here, Strategic Stand, because it also gives you the same effect. So definitely pick this one up. Next perk here is Adamant Restoration. When your health drops below 30%, your ammo reserve is restored by 25% of the maximum capacity. Cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity. The cooldown is 30 seconds. This perk has a great synergy on the Heavy, because if you take the 30% HP increase here, being at that low HP value is really not too bad. So you can sit around like 40% HP and hit this threshold over and over and pretty much have infinite ammo. So really great option. Next perk here is Heavy Might and Heavy Might again for a 30% buff in your heavy stance to damage, which is kind of a no-brainer. And the final perks we take are Discipline for more damage at low ammo, which also has great synergy with the perk over here, Adamant Restoration, because if you are at low ammo and you have this active, you do get drip fed back your ammo. So like usually you're hovering around that 25% damage buff, which is pretty nice. Next perk here is Fast Venting, up here to increase capacity for more ammo, down into the perk Perpetual Cooling, and of course Divine Might for even more damage. That's pretty much all there is for the Heroic Heavy Bolter. Now in this patch, you can also change the appearance of your weapon from the Heroic Heavy to like whatever you want, which is why it looks white here in case you're curious, but we're playing as a Raven Guard. Now for the secondary, I do take an Inferno Pistol. Well, the reason for this is that the Inferno Pistol this patch got buffed up to have a 22% increased gun strike damage. That feels pretty good. The Inferno Pistol is definitely stronger than it used to be. The main reason I'm taking this though is because this weapon does not have the stagger of the Multi-Melta or Heavy Plasma, so having this against Tyranids is pretty nice. And now the gun strike damage is not like god awful. Now for the perk tree, I do take the perk Perpetual Range first, moving here into the perk Brace Reload, over into Perpetual Range again, up into the perk Great Might, Increased Capacity, Adamant Restoration, and then we grab the perk Extra Shot and Trick Shot, and that's pretty much all there is for this build. I would always take this. I would also skip over Motivated Melee, especially on Heavy, but like really any class this is not very strong on, because the damage calculation here is not very powerful despite what it may sound like. So just skip over this one in my opinion. Now, if you want a different secondary option, you could take the Rate of Fire Plasma. I would set up like this for ammo, because this weapon is very ammo hungry. But for the most part, this is up to you. You can take whatever secondary you want. The big part of this build is, of course, the primary here. Now, for the perk tree, we do take pretty much the same thing as last patch and every other patch, because Heavy's build tree is just not super varied. Number 1, Restoration. Killing 7 enemies ramps session restores 1 armor segment. The cooldown is 15 seconds. This perk is just godlike. Armor on a drip feed in this game is incredible. Any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will reduce all incoming melee damage to 0, even from bosses, so having this will save your life. It also helps you trigger perks down here like Conviction. Next perk is Fortitude for a health increase of 30%, because HP increases in Space Marine 2 are incredible, mainly because below 25% HP in Space Marine 2, you will get a ramping damage reduction, and having a higher base HP will make that even better. Next perk here is Overwhelming Power for a 10% range damage buff within 10 meters of your teammates while your Iron Halo is active. This is just a nice free range damage buff. You could also take Versatility if you wanted to. I don't think that's like very powerful in the Inferno Pistol, but it's definitely not a bad option. Next perk here is Encompassing Aegis. All team members take 25% less damage from range attacks. This perk is incredible. A free 25% range damage reduction that is global for your entire team. That's a very strong perk in Space Marine 2. This will save you a lot of damage, though if you want to take additional supplies to like solve all ammo economy problems for your teammates as well, you could definitely do that. Next perk here is Consecutive Execution for 90-second equipment. I mean, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Equipment will save your life in Space Marine 2. Pretty much always pick this perk up unless you're taking Animate Will. Next perk here is Power Regulator. Iron Halo loses energy 20% more slowly. This perk and Field Adjustment are both pretty good. They do come out to be about the same cooldown. I believe Field Adjustment is like ever so slightly faster, but this one does make it so you don't lose any durability on your Iron Halo, which does come into play a lot more now because in this patch there are a ton of range spam enemies, so I do grab this one instead. Final perk here in the gear tree is Brute Force. When Iron Halo is in cooldown, range damage increases by 15%. This will stack with the perk Overwhelming Power for like a 25% buff because Iron Halo will count as in cooldown while it is active, which is pretty funny. And even if it wasn't the case, this perk is a free range damage buff, and the perk up here, Saving Grace, sucks, and the perk down here, Wrath of the Imperium, is okay. Next perk here is Offensive Capability. When active, Iron Halo deals damage over time to all enemies within 5 meters. This is just free damage around your Iron Halo. This will wipe out Bramble, Spore Mines, Cultists, so this actually overperforms all the time. I absolutely love this perk. It has saved my life on so many occasions. It's also just like free boss damage, so definitely grab this one, though if you don't want to take this, you could take the perk down here, Conversion Field, instead, because Ability Charge is nice, especially if there's like a Tech Marine on your team with a Servo Gun, but that's up to you as well. And I would definitely skip the Coolant Reserve perk because this one is still trash somehow, like over a year later. Now, for the Prestige perks, I do take Auxiliary Reload for ammo economy. Moving here into the perk Conviction for a 25% health damage reduction. This perk is just free HP damage reduction pretty much that feeds back into itself with Restoration. And then I grab the perk here Indomitable Spirit for no knockback in gun strikes. And the final perk I grab is Duelist. Perfect Parry and Perfect Block windows increased by 25%. This will stack with the base perk you have here on the Heroic option for a 75% perfect parry window increase on a fencing option. That is ridiculous. It is like impossible to miss parries on this weapon unless you're like absolutely stun locked and frame trapped. So great synergy there, which is why I picked this up over other options. That's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. The Heroic Heavy Bolter really is one of the best weapons on Heavy. It is definitely the best of the Heavy Bolter options in the game currently because it is just a super powerful option to have a fencing variant on the Heavy class. And hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
If I am the first to find these codes, you should expect a reprimand. Pack a little more bite. Tyranid can like destroy. Stay alert. Fire this galaxy is not yours.
A lot of warriors. Where the Heavy Bolter kind of shines, though. The Heroic fencing window really is huge.
Crush the ravenous brood. If I am the first to find these codes, you should expect a reprimand. If I am the first to find these codes, you should expect a reprimand.
Ammunition here.
A Raven Guard heavy intercessor, nice, nice. A man who knows ball. You don't really see them that often. You really don't. The sad truth about minis, yeah, like unless you're actually playing tournaments, you're probably gonna gather dust on your minis.
Proceed to the Promethium refinery and complete
And they're not exactly
demolition
cheap.
preparations.
What's the best block weapon at the moment? Probably block power axe or block power fist. I mean, they're all usable.
There is no going back.
The parry bolter reigns supreme certainly does.
Obstacle removed.
Nothing will escape this group once it catches fire.
Any boss spawn?
Crack grenade in. Damage your wounds. Steal your minds. Neuro.
I just want to shoot him in the face, but not meant to be.
Fumble his tactical advantage. This galaxy's got doors to power. Tossing Kraken. The fewer psychers these Xenos have, the better. You failed at ultra.
No reason to do this.
Fresh cartridge. Sanctified believers. Rearm.
Alright, back to back. I'm gonna occasionally catches me. Right. The standing unblockable is awkward having getting caught by those right there. Oh, we were.
Behold, the supremacy of Ultra. Crack grenade, unleashed. Soiled old treasures. The codex demand. Inserting round.
Thanks for the guys, a good combo. Good night. Take it easy, Mars. Good shopping by. Alright, let's go and
That is the last of the
what class would you want added to the game next? Okay, the obvious answer is librarian. I don't even think that's a question for me. I just want a librarian added to the game. But they're never gonna do that, so they're probably gonna need a chaplain.
Fresh magazine.
Someone said FCG's adopting a cat. Wait, lied. Any pet would die under my leadership. Therefore, we have none.
Talassa, Shadians are running out of time. How close are you to the Promethean facility? On location, Lieutenant. You are making good time. We are going to need it.
If so, what skill sets you want to see on a librarian? Okay, so like, what would make the noobs the happiest in this game? Probably a bubble. Just give them the Psyker bubble.
Use the codes to prime the bomb and finish its deployment into the crude Promethean well. Cautiously. If you know what is good.
Guys, I'm far from the lore. What's the librarian's deal? They are Psychers. They're all Psychers. They're the Psychers of Space Marine Psychers, basically. Like Dark Tide Psychers. They're just Space Marines with magic powers, basically. On top of their other stuff.
The charge is down.
Voice is dying today. You know, I think this might actually be the biggest gap between patches we've ever had in Space Marine 2. I'm trying to think, like, what's the worst one? See, we had patch 11 on November 25th of last year, and then we had patch 12 on February 26th. We had a PTS in January, so it's only a 2-month gap.
Swarm spotted. Headed toward generator 4.
We haven't had a PTS, so this might actually be the biggest gap between patches we've had. Because by the time this patch comes out, it's going to be 3 months minimum. It only feels this long because usually we have some kind of content by now. But they skipped the PTS this time due to delays. Or potentially other things.
It found its last.
Defend that generator. I will cover you.
Filthy thieves have borrowed for the last time.
X-axis aligned. Unlocks will. 2 axes remain. Attention. Crane drive is jammed. Perform the necessary cleansing to resume operation.
Trying to see what we got here.
Deployment resumed. Drive train restored. Begin the course of the locomotion methods. Swarm approaching. Keep firing leads to generator 3. Catching vibrations emitting from generator 3. Operator.
FTG, have you seen the Psyker mod? I'm not for this game. I played the Terminator one, that was pretty fun. This game's a dress up for guys, it definitely is. I don't even know how you could like this game long term if you don't like the outfit customization and 40k stuff.
Skithers the dwayne Xenos. The Codex demands.
No PTS because of confidence or lack of it? More like no PTS because either their marketing team is wanting to push something big at Warhammer Skulls, or it's just a deadline thing. Because Tech Ring came out later than they thought it would. Much later. It was supposed to, like, Tech Ring was supposed to come out in, or I should say, Patch 13 was supposed to come out in Q1 along with Tech Ring, but Tech Ring came out in February. Which means they would have had to launch.
Disruption of operation at
They would have had to launch them like 1 month apart.
the only size proper alignment.
And honestly, I don't think most players even had their Tech Marine all the way leveled up in a month. So, probably for the best and not release them side by side, like back to back like that. No PTS because deadlines. I mean, there's that. There's also the fact that Warhammer Skulls is coming. And Warhammer Skulls is where they're probably going to announce some big stuff, especially since this time last year, we did not have any info on year 2, but we do know year 3 is coming. So they have a lot more to work with this time. And let's be real, year 1 of this game is pretty shit, by comparison. Like, year 2 already is better than year 1. We've already gotten infinitely more melee weapons added to the game in year 2 than year 1. And we're only halfway through, really. We're like 3/5 of the way through it. When is patch 13 online? We don't know. We have no idea. Probably next month.
Reload. Load up.
I saw Heavy near the bottom for some solo lists. What do you think Heavy's issue is? Power creep? Yeah, he's kind of power crept a bit. That is his like only issue. He's not bad. I wouldn't put him at the bottom of the solos. I think Tech Marine's worse for solo, technically. Heavy's very tanky. Very, very tanky.
Must not be allowed to fire. Pack a little more bite. Tossing crap.
I think the patch will drop as soon as they announce it at Skulls. I kind of doubt that. I kind of doubt it.
Failed at ultra.
If they do, that'd be pretty unique for Saber. They might. What is your favorite build for each class? Actually, I have a whole video about that, I'm pretty sure.
No holding back.
Maybe I don't. It's hard to tell. It depends on the class. It depends on the faction I'm fighting. FTG, do you have a list of best loadouts per class for Chaos? No, but I can do that in the future.
Distraction efforts as long as you can. Your plan is sound, brother. The swarm will be broken. I will hold you to it.
FTG, what are your overall feelings on Patch 12? Tech Marine is great for the game, but the performance of the game and the range pimp have made it one of the more unfun patches to play. I mean, new classes, horde shooters are usually the best you can add. But Patch 12 was mostly Tech Marine. This is where I wish I had Wrath of the Imperium. Ah, yes. It's easy. A free FTG Twitch slaughter of the card effects.
Give us the green.
Be safe for now.
Deceptive beast.
sword warriors are kind of rude as fuck. That's
This galaxy's the door to the sanctified believers. Crush the ravenous brood to these
how would you buff heavy if they're gonna change it? Give him a knife. Just give him a flipping knife.
fresh cartridge. There is no distinguished ground. No holding back. Medical assistance will be.
I'll take it. We could have used the sim, but why not go for the extra fancy suicide bombing?
Skitter to the grave.
Ravener's just rude. When the card effect spazzes out on you like that, it's gonna be pretty rough. Because all the Raveners do is like triple combo, and you're pretty locked. But yeah, on the note of how I would buff heavy, give him give my homie a combat knife. They're supposed to have them in tabletop. And like, let's be real, giving a heavy a combat knife is not going to make him OP compared to like every other strong class in the game currently.
That swarm of Xenos. You failed at order. Fate.
Every Marine has a knife, yeah, they're supposed to. I understand what they were going for with the heavy initially, but in these days, just give him a knife. Every Marine has a knife, but the heavy. Not even true in tabletop. Do heavy intercessors have a combat knife? Yes, they are equipped with a close combat weapon. While these are not specialized for melee, they are modeled with combat knives, or assume they carry one as standard to start each issue. Just give him a knife, dude. You know how much better he would feel if he had a knife? I mean, you can't. I don't know if they will ever do that, because I don't know if they even have a system in the game to swap your melee weapon. You have to get rid of like the stomp and all that. And they'd also probably have to rework some of his melee perks, because imagine if you gave him a Power Gladius with like 100% melee damage bonus on top of the melee damage bonuses on the heavy weapons themselves. But that being said,
Follow me through.
give him a knife.
The enemy comes, Captain. But we are prepared. Dig in. We need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates the bulk of the swarm will not be in position for a while yet. Keep your heads and get it done.
What chapters are heavy? Raven Guard.
The swarm is upon us.
The only reason we wear a Raven Guard Heavy, by the way, so we can use the bolt pistol like this.
Ammunition here.
Enemies detected in the refinery.
Imagine suppressed heavy bolter. Seems a bit counterintuitive, though.
That silence intimidating fire. Crack grenade, unleash.
I hate those guys. Dig all the time.
Tyranid thunder.
The fact they can't die in that animation is pretty annoying.
Halfway there, brothers. You enemy was times at my firing range.
Keep them off guard. You failed that order. Reload.
The swarm has almost fully committed. Be ready for my mark.
Reload. Load up. Deploying shock.
Such a way.
Sanctify the weapons. Searching rounds.
You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards. We end this now.
There we go, finally. Yeah, that's a wrap.
Holding back.
Let's give the hive mind a hive-sized tank. Tyranid biosites down 90% and full. Swarm annihilation confirmed. Excellent work. Move to extract. Extraction complete. Returning to orbit.